the righteous expression of the collective will of the resistance, William Joseph Blaskowitz emerged to declare a radical verdict against the deadly machinations and bloodthirsty regime of the fascist patriarchy. Our enemies feel our rage and fear our contempt as Blaskowitz storms through their strongholds of horrors, and hope is foreseen at the end of this tumultuous tunnel, a hope to build a brave new war on, a war to end all wars.
Fittingly enough, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, has generated a colossal amount of debate whether it is a work of sloppily concealed left-wing propaganda, as there is no question that the title is jam-packed with elements to radically court the collective and favorite convictions of socially super-progressive individuals. But there seems to be a lack of recognition of how Wolfenstein 2 relies on a deliberately larger-than-life, comedic, caricaturic portrayal of set sentiments and their supporting ideologies. In other words, although Wolf 2 indeed spoon-feeds you scenes and relations that appeal to the thought police, but their presentation is so crudely deprived of any delicacy that it becomes quite gorgeous comedy. Counter-offend.
Shake it, baby.
A topless pregnant woman massacring Nazis? How can you take this seriously? And how can you not, you heartless Nazi?
We see what you're up to, what you're about. You are the problem. You and your toxic masculinity. You player of violent video games.
Oops. Anyway.
Oppressor, tormentor, bloody phallocratic agent of the patriarchy.
Now is the time for you to step aside and let us unleash our unmistakable love on the world. Wolfenstein 2 is very astute, efficient and cunning in its covert determination of making fun of all extremists, while delivering a truly badass shooter in the process, as a side note. Wolf 2 is out to bitch-slap you with a dead tuna if you feel outraged by the act of an Afro-American woman questioning the relevance of good old-fashioned balls, doing it as comedy, as her delivery is dead serious, but she breastfeeds a toddler in the process in the public presence of a man who just been metaphysically castrated. Serves him well.
We should crush the phallocratic patriarchy with furious anger.
You can't help but spot the absurdity of the situation. Or, if you fail to spot the absurdity, then it is Absurdity 2.0, realized in glorious splendor with your own participation. And this is a tremendous charm of this game. The title is an absurdly humorous checklist of what the so-called socially progressive individual would want to see addressed and scrutinized in the real world. Achievement unlocked. Fat shaming. Achievement unlocked. Wheelchair killing spree. Achievement unlocked. Textbook racism. So the parody in this game is visceral and relentless throughout. And the sad fact of the matter is that if you are offended by this game, then the joke is on you. Wolfenstein 2 makes fun of the left-wing extremist too, synonym thought police, by deliberately serving them the extreme representation, the oh-so-glorious super-manifestation of their most deeply held fears and beliefs, thereby showcasing the limitations of good old-fashioned virtue signaling, as the ultimate value in virtue signaling is about me. Look, I agree, or look, I disagree, I. The accusation of being an SJW carries implications of pursuing personal validation rather than any deep-seated conviction, and being engaged in disingenuous social justice arguments or activism to raise personal reputation, also known as virtue signaling. Look at the father figure in this game. What an outright douche. He is quickly becoming my favorite person to despise. I'm getting good at this with him, but notice what a fantastic and relentless parody he is in this picture-perfect embodiment of everything a left-wing extremist would freak out at.
Finger on the trigger. That's right. Now, shoot her. Shoot her!
Disclaimer. Every sober person would freak out at the father figure of Wolf 2, and there is no virtue in harassing the evident by swinging it around by the throat.
I take no goddamn lip from no smart-ass YouTuber. God's gonna cut you down, boy.
The irony is super evident. This guy is a checklist, and as blunt as an atom bomb in his abilities to make everyone freak out. A social justice warrior is always on the hunt for things to heartily approve of, things to be offended by, and Wolfenstein 2 delivers lavish contextual environments to express these inner activities in. And, on the other hand, sure enough, you can take the position of the "keep your SGW crap out of my gaming" credo. But what I find ballsy, yes, I'm a sexist to the core and I find females attractive, from Wolf 2, is how it says no to the aforementioned request. And, with the support of comedic effect, it reflects on the similarly comedic absurdity of artificially generated tensions present in the so-called real world. So, Wolfenstein 2 despises everyone and still emerges to entertain them all. Nothing is more metal than that. And honestly, your best alternative is to realize that this is a comedy written with the spilled blood of extreme human biases, and if your stance towards the game reigns beyond the pseudo-subconscious automatic urge to freak out on things that you think are not pertinent to your idea of how to properly enjoy a video game, then there is a chance that you'll experience a tremendous journey of rampaging hilarity. And here is why. Once working as intended, Wolfenstein 2 is a masterfully crafted piece and contains sufficient amount of top-of-the-food chain grade cutscenes to be regarded as a cinematic effort as well. There is an abundant amount of cutscenes in this game, and honestly, they all kick your ass to hell and back. Not going to lie, but when Hitler lies in this game, pun intended, I laughed hysterically for 5 minutes straight, and such an experience is rarely obtainable from popular culture. Let's pop this baby up and see what's under the hood. Nazi-killing rampage, of course. Wolf 2 loves to see you taking risks, and it rewards you with swift, efficient body counts if you channel the wolf with convince power. But commit more than one mistake in a row, or read your surroundings falsely, and the title makes short work of you, bestowing relentless punishment for any and all signs of situational indetermination. We will soon scrutinize the fighting system in depth, but first, let's take a look at the structuring of Wolfenstein 2. The game takes on a dualistic nature in its pacing. Between and before missions, you hang around on a magnificently realized submarine among your collaborators, forming the Resistance. The narrative takes you through a quite soulfully realized comic book-esque story in which everything can happen, and usually it does. I previously claimed that the game is a comedy, but that does not mean that it takes its comedy unserious. Quite the opposite. There is depth and substance to the characters. The script is immediately going for maximum effect all the time, declaring right away that it came to kill everyone on sight, so the whole thing has a very elegant and efficient narrative flow to it. On the other hand, I'm not particularly impressed by environmental variety, as ruined cities and Nazi sci-fi complexes aside, the game has relatively shallow of a well to showcase.
These graphics sure are realistic. Feel like I'm inside the game.
But the gunplay is extremely satisfying. Wolfenstein 2 is a very volatile game, which in theory lets you play in an extremely careful, stealthy fashion. But you are juggling dynamites while going stealth, and you are always one step away from being assaulted by a barrage of Nazis. And make no mistake, this is a deliberate balance, realized with superb taste. Even when you go commando in an efficient way, the little devil sits on your shoulder and whispers, "Quit chickening around, quit hiding like you're ashamed. You disgrace the wolf. Give in to the wolf, give in to your anger." Massacre. Massacre. This Nazi's in a rampage. You know you can. You know you want to. Go, 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 go. This is not a spoiler, more of a thing pertinent to the mechanics. During the game, your protagonist undergoes certain, modifications, but one thing remains a staple. Your health could be overcharged beyond your then current maximum, but it will decrease continually. With this trick, Wolfenstein 2 essentially tempts you to release the wolf, as each point of health you watch drain is a potential Nazi-killing opportunity you failed to capitalize on. The token of a successful stealth attempt is the act of taking out the commander without his soldiers noticing. If you fail to do that, then the commanders will exercise their ability of calling in reinforcements, thereby guaranteeing a gore fest in which you will either kill or will be killed. This game does not joke around and makes short work of you if you are not extremely attentive. But being attentive is kind of an impossibility here, as chaos is inevitably to ensue whenever enemies are approaching you from multiple directions, as you have no way of knowing the direction they will attack you from. This uncertainty factor is the mere substance the soul of the game is shaped from, and it serves the gunplay extremely well. It is very satisfying to harvest hostiles, and once in a fight, there won't be a single moment in which you are completely free from the imminent grasp of death incarnate. And the hostiles of Wolf 2 are not particularly fearful for their lives. Yes, they can use covers, but their main priority seems to be to close the distance and mow you down up close, as if wanting to make sure they steal your soul in the process by sucking it out through your eyeballs or something like that. With a healthy amount of collectibles and kind of meh grade side missions, Wolfenstein 2 delivers a quite memorable campaign that is supported by cutscenes and a narrative that expresses cinematic ambitions. The game does not progress any longer than it should, ending on a high note that leaves you wanting more. And it features a lot of Nazis looking for you.
I'm tired of you stealing my life. I'm tired of you making me feel if I'm good or bad. I'm tired of you deciding how my day is. No more of you deciding my life. No more of you stealing life from me. This is it. I take back my life. I'm in control. I decide if I'm good or bad. Not you. I deserve a great life. This is about me. This isn't about you. Oh my God, that's like better than sex.